All right, welcome back, everybody, to Soul Spark Tarot. I'm your host, Mr. Anu, and today we got ourselves our daily message. We did a quick check-in earlier today. I hope that you watched that and you get the energy vibes that you need. This one, we're just going to pretty much jump into the reading. So we're going to do a mini yap, of course, channel side, but if you want to skip, just go ahead and skip the message. Outside of that, like, subscribe, follow, you know, comment. I think we need to really push this TikTok thing because I'm starting to enjoy the engagement on TikTok. Yeah, so we got to see what we can do for those people over there. Follow me, I'll follow you back, man. Everywhere is an even exchange with me. But anyway, so channel message, man, was we got to get the monkey off our back, right? And this comes in a lot of different forms, but most of it comes in the form of you. So your own mindset is going to put you in that space of, oh, what was me? I should do this, I shouldn't do that, blah, 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 blah. Desolate state, anxiety, all of those problems that come up in the world, all of those problems come in the form of you. It's your own mind, it's your own stories. So when we try to fix that, we got to understand that that part of our brain is only concerned with helping and protecting us. It's not your ego yet. It's not your ego yet, but it's the precursor to the ego. And the way you get to the ego is having the answer of why. When you can answer that question, why, then you can have that understanding of how come you have these sensations. Then you know why you have the sensations, and then you know why you're taking actions. You know why you're not. You know why you're doing this versus why you are not doing that. So when we're looking at ourselves change, when we're looking at ourselves develop, when we're looking at ourselves grow, especially during this Mercury retrograde period, once we're looking at ourselves, we got to be able to see ourselves with clear eyes, no bias. We got to see ourselves as brand new. Every single time you see yourself, see a brand new version of yourself like a baby, because you don't know this version of yourself. So because we don't know, we're going to use the angel deck because our angels, they do know, but they can't just tell us everything. They got to guide us through. Again, your teacher just can't give you the answer. They got to guide you to the answer so you can teach yourself. That experience of you being guided, that is the idea of you learning. So as you're being triggered during this Mercury retrograde, please don't judge yourself. Please do not judge yourself. The first message I got this morning when I pulled a card for myself was change. Change in the sense of exchange. When you have change, you got to understand that you have something down here and something over here. And when these things change, if I just change that one, doesn't that change everything? Now these cards that didn't even move until I moved them, but these cards that didn't even move, they are now in a new position. If I change something again, we got way more space between them. All I'm doing is changing one thing, but I'm impacting so much more when I make my one change. So it's really about taking the time to see the newness behind all the changes that you're going through. So if you get triggered today, if you get triggered for the next month, the idea is to see yourself change. Damn, something didn't want me to get that out. The idea is to see yourself change. So just like I talked to this old lady today when I was at the store, when you get triggered, when something happens, that's an opportunity. Everybody, let me hear you say, I got an opportunity to help myself. I got an opportunity to help myself. You have the opportunity to help yourself every single time you get triggered this month. Your triggers are not there to be healed. Your triggers are not there to be mourned upon. Your triggers are not there just because they're triggers. The triggers are there to teach you how to teach yourself. Again, are you aware of yourself? Do you know your changes? Have you changed? Have you created new aspects for yourself to live through, to live with, to live by? These are the things that we're looking for right now, because at the end of the day, if I put this rock over here, guess what? How does the cards feel about having the rock here opposed to over here? Opposed to over there. So we don't know, but when we're changing, we gotta first look inside. You gotta first look inside of me so you can understand the inside eye. What are you looking at? That is where the triggers come from. The triggers come from you looking at a certain thing and then you say, I don't like that for me. So if you can jump into the ideal who's claiming it, then you can start to see the differences between when you don't. Claim it versus don't claim it, but the idea is the trigger is allowing you to be in control. The trigger is allowing you to take control and be in power. So let's look at that a little bit differently. If you get triggered today, like she's an older lady, but she looked pretty young. So I'm going to say young lady. This young lady, she was on her phone. She was signing up for this thing because she's about to go out of town. And then guess what? I was already talking to a gentleman to our right because he had some issues with the place we were at, the store. Damn. None of these problems was there. So as he had his problems, I told him the same thing. Change has been on the brain. And so here's the concept behind changing the situation. She went through and did this whole 8-page application that she needed to do. Got to the very last page, pressed submit, and guess what? Everything erased. She had to start over. Guess what? Any other day she would have been mad, she said. But after listening to me, she said, I'm just going to say, whatever. And she brushed it off. And I said, that is wonderful. I'm so happy you did that. Guess what? Damn, excuse me. I said, guess what? Now probably you're going to get a way better spot now. Maybe that position that you was trying to get first, maybe that wasn't for you. Maybe now you're going to get the best seat. Maybe you're going to get the best number. Maybe they do a draw and you get the winning seat ticket now. You don't have a clue. These are the concepts when we say God deters us. If you're on a pathway to a certain place and then all of a sudden you run into all of these obstacles, and guess what? You find out later that there was a 25 car pile up on your normal route, you will be like, whoo, thank God. But right now, that needs to happen on the micro level. So whenever you get triggered, whenever you feel like you can't, you feel frustrated, you feel even happy, you got to stop and you got to pause and you got to say, I wonder what would happen if this would make me sad. I wonder if I can take this bad situation and see some good from it. This is the idea of yin and yang. In the change deck in the Thoth deck, the Two of Pentacles is the change card. Two of Pentacles represents balance normally, but no. In this sense, it's working against change, because when you change one thing, you have a balance within both. Again, it automatically happens. This is what we call quantum entanglement. Okay? When you're quantumly entangled, that's the idea of whenever something happens, something else happens squared. If you take a step forward, the world took a step backwards. If I move the rock to the right, the cards automatically went to the left. That is the idea. So as we're looking at making these changes through our triggers, we got to anticipate the good behind them and we got to anticipate the bad. Again, I got a new tire yesterday. Guess what? Everything was all good. And then today, my tire light comes on. So I'm like, I just got something good, right? But then the bad thing was my car was still indicating. Guess what? I learned something new from that situation instead of saying, what the fuck, and going and yelling at the people who changed my tire. No, you gotta see these things as truthful tests. These are pop quizzes. Simple pop quizzes for you and yourself. So, let's get our overall energy for this daily. That was a lot. Little learning lesson. What do we need to do with this information to change today? This balance change. This seeing the good and the bad with the good. Seeing this 4-part square. What about this information today for the people? What's up, people? What y'all need today? You need to assert yourself. And the places that you would never assert yourself, go assert yourself. Be a Hioka. Do the opposite shit of everything that you would do. If you get triggered and you want to slap a person, get triggered and talk some shit instead. If you get triggered and you want to slap somebody and then you normally talk some shit as you slapping them, walk away. Don't say shit. The idea is you need to assert the newness of the changes. Again, don't just say, oh, I wonder if I'm going to go over here. No, I'm going the fuck over there. Right? That is the idea. Don't care if you trigger other people around you. Why? For the simple fact that maybe they need to learn that lesson. But more importantly, you need to ground yourself in your ability to assert yourself. Let's read. The situation can be healed gently and with love, as you've requested, yet there's also a need for your own strength and truthfulness with the people involved. Again, whenever you see strength, you got to think lust. You got to think weakness as well. The things that you lust over are the things that make you weak. And the things that make you weak are the things that you have to assert your strength over. We will stand with you, right behind you as you speak your truth, giving you strength and guiding your words. This is a beautiful card to come out first because, again, every situation that we do when we're changing through, we gotta assert to ourselves, not that this is bad, but this is good. Again, the trigger is going to make you feel good, bad, happy, or sad, or whatever. The trigger is going to make you naturally do whatever. This rock changing from here, that is the trigger of life. Not for the rock, but for the cards. Damn, somebody just cut in front of you. What you gonna do now? You can't stop them from doing the cutting off you. They already cut you off in your car. They cut in front of you in line. They cut you off for the job. They cut you off for the relationship. They cut you off for the friendship. They already did it. What you gonna do now? You gonna bitch and complain and cry and beg and whine like you used to all the time before Mercury retrograde? Or you gonna be like, oh, this motherfucker dropped me like a hot skillet? Whoop, 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 whoop. I guess that's not a place for me. Oh, this motherfucker gonna cut me off while I'm driving? Whew, thank God that I'm not crazy. Whatever you need to justify yourself for not reacting in a way that you would before, that is the idea of what you need to be practicing right now. But more importantly, you need to assert that shit like it's the biggest strength that you've ever had. That is the one thing that you need to do right now. What's number 2 though? What else do we need to do? Ooh, you need to get out your emotions, bro. Get out of your emotions. Of course. But what does that mean? If you out your emotions over here, are you out your emotions over there? So the idea is when this change occurs, there's an exchange that is happening. So what you need to really see this as is get out of your emotions that stop you from asserting yourself and get into the emotions that allow you to assert yourself. Again, these are the emotions that will allow me to assert. These are the emotions that won't allow me to assert. Negative side of the y-axis, positive side of the y-axis. They're just different directions. It's still the heart. You still gotta have some love, but stop having love for the people outside of you who don't give a fuck. Stop having love for the people who want to cut you off, who want to cut you out, who want to leave you by yourself. You gotta get out of those emotions that say, oh no, me, I love you, but, and get into the emotions that say, well, hell yeah, fuck yeah, I'm glad you did that. I'm so happy. Take the monkey off my back for me, please. Give me the room and space to allow something new to come in. Oh, the trash is taking itself the fuck out. Hell yes. That is the idea and attitude we need to be taking. Let me give you some more. Let's read. Heart chakra. Love is the heart of the matter. LL Cool J just popped in my mind. Who do you love? Da-da-da-da-da-dum. Are you for sure? Who do you love? Do you love yourself more? Or do you love the old version of yourself more? Or do you love the new version of yourself who you trying to become? Which one of these parts of you do you love? And which one of these things matters to you right now? Again, the trigger is going to allow you to come in and say, oh, I'm going to choose left or I'm going to choose right. Which trigger are you going to roll with? You should roll with neither and decide and assert yourself what is going to go down next. All right, fuck it. Everybody is done. Oh, you know what? You and you only, come on. Assert yourself confidently so you can understand your own emotions. Learn how to be loyal to yourself. Your heart is the center within your physical being, attuned most to love. It's safe for you to love and be loved with an open heart as we stand by with perfect protection and guidance. It's 2 cards of protection, 2 cards of guidance. So, that's good. This is the 3 card spread. Let's get our final message today about this understanding. What's our final message about asserting ourselves for our own heart space? We're protected already. Doesn't matter which way you go, but we got to make sure we're going in a way that we feel good about. Again, all of these triggers for this whole Mercury retrograde, you have to be okay with yourself reacting. But you got to make sure that you decide and assert the actions after the reaction. The follow-up. What's the final message? Energy work. Perfect. Life can be electrifying because its very essence is energy. And energy is always moving and changing. Energy is always exchanging, so that means it's always creating discord. It is chaos. It is triggers. Life is triggers. Life is triggers. So you have to work on the energy that will allow you to either be triggered or not triggered. But triggers are not the problem. It is not the reaction to the problem neither. Triggers are not the problem, and your reactions to the problem are not the problem. The problem in and of itself is the problem. So you have to decide how much you value this problem so you can appreciate your reaction, and then you can appreciate your expression towards that reaction, aka your trigger. If somebody cuts you off and you say, well, fuck you, motherfucker, are you okay with that? That is what you got to decide, because the problem is not the person. The problem isn't you flipping them off and cussing them out. The problem is the energy involved. So make sure we see this. This is about to die. Your body is a remarkable energy field that will positively respond to loving treatments. Your hands and heart are activated to give healing energy to your loved ones and your clients. Guess what? This person's heart is on their hands are on their heart. But again, it's in the reverse over here. That means you got to stop giving your heart loving, healing energy away to the things you don't want to no more. So if you're getting triggered by old memories and old thoughts and old dreams and old people and people who are not even going to be here temporary, those trials and tribulations that are just going to leave, you have to understand how to assert yourself energetically so when they come back, it don't fucking matter no more. This is called the law of detachment. So, your final message is to work on your energy so you can master your responses to the energy in the ways that you want to respond. Assert those energies and make sure everything that you do is for a genuine version of you. The genuine heart space says, I'm going to do it for me over anything else. And that is what you need to work on, and that is your final message of this daily. So work on that energy of helping you first and not giving a damn, and asserting that energies across the whole goddamn land. So then you can be living in your heart space more properly. All right, I appreciate y'all. Peace.